head out to the steps or park?
I'm sorry?
You want to head out to the steps of the park or?
Yeah, let's go to the park.
All right.
These people should not be babied. You're getting insulted over that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think there's some people who are aware of law, aware of reasonable suspicion. I think Espinosa is actually one of them.
A participation trophy is not enough. Listen.
What do you mean by a
I'm gonna.
participation trophy?
Well, I'll explain. Turner, a lot of people are going to think they know shit, right? And maybe they know shit from back in the day. Maybe they knew shit at one fucking point in time, right? And please excuse my my agitation here, but I had to hold back in that last fucking call because the last part of it. But I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking here. All right.
All right.
The law is always going to be changing every day, every week, over and over. Anybody that says that they understand generally actually does not understand. They understand how they used to do things, not how they are done now. And even something as simple as like, even no one should be claiming, I know what this is or I know what that is. The reasonable suspicion of probable cause has been only based on U.S. case law from like 15 years ago, which is why in court, all of these fucking court cases that we go, not every single one, but a good majority of them, there's arguments over what RS is, what PC is. We didn't even have affirmative defense until recently, right? So in that arrogance of believing I know this already, no, you're actually a fucking clown at that point. Now, I quite frankly, brother, for me, having to stand in that room and saying, hey, maybe we should get the DOJ in there, and that being seen as something offensive is fucking ridiculous. Because the truth of the matter is that in this last second part of this conversation, I am literally being asked, give me the pattern in which for us to win in court. That is not how you go to court. You literally need to make like, what if they don't have a fake plate? What if, do we need 10 vehicles? Are you saying you need 10 vehicles? Do we need 5?
What the
no, you literally that's for you guys to figure out, right? It's for the person that's grabbing it. I can't give you a formula. That's literally not how the law works, right? And well,
to some extent, yeah.
And I want to provide an example, right? And this isn't just at Espinosa, right? There's a gross lack of education in the space, which is fine. We can fix that. But in order to fix it, there first needs to be an understanding that there's a problem. Because if that's not understood, no one's going to fix anything. You get what I'm saying? Right? If you think you're a track all-star, but the reality is you're not willing to, train for it, you ain't going to get nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
I could agree. I think something I've always pushed is that the state in which we live in is always revolving. Laws always revolving. Things are always changing. The moment you stop learning is the moment that you give it up, frankly.
Yes.
I do believe in that.
I'm going to give you a prime example of what I mean in the event it was missed. To say that if you have 10 vehicles, right, make, model, color, whatever, someone's there, and then it's, well, what if they say, what about a fake plate? What about you didn't have the VIN? Like, that's a clear, gross misunderstanding of how court cases work, or how you put things in front of court. Those are not reasonable arguments. You literally need evidence to show that a fake plate could have been used. Right? So I'm hoping I'm getting you're picking up
I
on
think
that.
the truth of it,
right?
to some extent, I am. I think the truth of it is thinking about it. Everybody already does what you're mentioning. It's a matter of articulating it now, actually
Yes,
doing it and documenting it.
precisely.
We lose a car that we know Hydra's in. We go check for Mirror Park, see if we see that car. We lose a car Manor. We go check the Manor block. We lose a car for ADMC. We check ADMC. To an extent, we do that. Look, I'm not disagreeing with that part. I think we do it. It's gonna take a bit of teaching here and understanding, a little bit of learning, trial and error.
The bit that I see
that part I'm not worried about.
the bit
Truthfully.
that is driving a nail through my mind is it. First meeting, fine. That second one, to me, was resonating that the lack of recognition that when you're going and filing a search and seizure, a search warrant, a subpoena, a asset forfeiture, whatever it is, that it's not a formula. It's saying because of these things, we believe beyond a reasonable doubt this is occurring and this is why we're taking it, right? And if you're lacking something when you're making that cognitive, or that the argument, if you're missing that piece, I just don't understand why that bit's not being understood. It's you have to do it every day, like you said. You have to explain it, right? Here's my evidence. Let me explain it in words. That's all it is. And if you find yourself catching yourself being like, well, I don't think this is a strong enough argument, that means you need more, right? And anyways,
Right. Yeah, I agree with that aspect of it. I understand that part. I do. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of work to get everybody on the same page on it.
why is there, do you think there's this hesitation for people like Grayson coming in and providing lessons on this? Because I think command needs to understand this shit. And if they don't, it's a ribbozo. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be constant failures and thinking it's the DOJ or thinking it's this or thinking it's that. When the true reality is, I think people have either forgotten or those skill sets no longer exist. So let's fucking work to get those skill sets back.
Yeah, I'd always be up for more training from DOJ here. I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Why is that yesterday when we spoke on that resort, when I brought up documenting a vehicle?
2 days ago. Yep.
Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 days ago. Apologies. When I mentioned documenting a vehicle on a scene, you said those vehicles they need to be in our custody. We need to have them seized.
Not every
That's changed here today.
It depends, right? Because the thing is, we're working on hypotheticals, right? So maybe we're talking about hypothetical then, and I responded based on that. We're talking about hypotheticals in there. Like, so when Maxwell said, "Well, is it 10 cars?" and I said, "Well, these are hypothetical." I'm using exaggerations, right, to provide a hypothetical. If you found a car 10 times over, I don't remember what hypothetical we were talking about that day. So, should you have seized it found it once? Probably. It's going to make your case stronger, right?
We have, just to be clear, we have all VIN numbers and plates registered when the vehicle's purchased. Is that right? Those are all entered to the state when they register the vehicle.
Unsure, but I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Because we get vehicles that are stolen that come back for seizure from the seizure department.
Say that one more time.
I'm trying to remember the exact name of it, but we can run plates essentially that come back as being marked for seizure from the seizure department. So there's a department that looks into them and keeps a registry of them all, right?
You're gonna have to check. I'm unaware. I mean, I don't. There's a vehicle tab. Let me take a look.
And we need to get that worked on. We are unable to search any plates in any way, shape, or form. Hopefully we get some help with that.
Oh my God. There's some serious work that needs to be done. I'm telling you right now, Turner, that these are some of those questions are not the ones to be asking, right? I wasn't going to say it. Yes, he does need training. You may not believe that because maybe, you know, you've seen some things or whatever, but, you know, if you're genuinely sitting there and saying, I know what RS is because I read some SOP from 10, 15 years ago, you're wrong, right? It's now well defined. RS before was based on old case law. If you're not willing to even accept those things, brother, like, it's cooked. If you're asking questions about, like, what if's this and DOJ does that, you literally don't know how our legal system works.
I don't think many people know how this legal system works. I don't think some of the people in it know how it works.
Well, that, you mean like judges and shit?
In general, some people, yeah.
I mean, that might be possible. I mean, that's hard to imagine. But yeah, maybe.
You really keep learning. That is the truth behind it.
It boils down to this: the fundamentals are very simple, right? And it's driving back to the fundamentals to begin with. It is that you are making an assertion in court in a filing. The prosecution is making an argument with evidence, then the defense is poking holes in the argument. Everything else builds off that, right? And I think over time, and honestly, this has been the case for 2 generations. This isn't necessarily a new problem, but it's only gotten worse. Is there cannot be just guidelines or there cannot just be, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. It's, you need to be able to make an argument. You need to be able to articulate it. And if that's not understood, everything else falls apart. You know, you might be thinking you're doing the right thing, but that's only because you're getting lucky, or maybe, you know, like, it's like this, right? If someone kills someone and you find the murder weapon, you're probably going to get them for murder. But if you happen to not get the murder weapon, it does get more difficult because it means you need more, right? You need to show how that particular person could have been the only one to have done it. I don't know.
All right.
Anyways, I don't know. Anyways, all right. That's all I wanted to say. I do think that's an area that really needs to be cooked up. I think it's going to make PD's life a million times easier. I don't know what the solution is, right? Maybe it does mean hiring folks, maybe putting out advertisements, whatever it is, specifically getting folks that are willing to educate the rest of the department what court is about. Because if that's not the target, everything else gets more difficult. You know what I mean? Because everything can end up back in court, right? And then it shouldn't be a surprise when things fall apart. You know, court case doesn't go the right way. I don't know. Feel free to disagree with me.
No, I'm to some extent agreeing. It's an age-old question of how you tackle this.
Well, you found Wes. I'm sure there's some others, you know. Once his, you know, plate's clear, maybe he's building up some others around them. Because, man, it can't get, it's not going to get better unless that, I don't know. Until that segment's tackled. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah.
Holy
Agreed.
shit.
I'm just to some extent I agree. Trying to think how to tackle this. Best route to take. That's all. Excuse the silence.
No, I got you. I know there's no
thinking
simple answer here, but I'm look, I've practiced law here longer than anybody, right? And I'm not saying that to like show you how big my dick is, but I'm trying to give you as much I'm trying to give you the most genuine my most genuine position here is it has never been this bad. Like that was embarrassing. But there is a solution. It's got to their focus needs to be put on that. It's just going to keep deteriorating to the point. If it doesn't get stopped, it's only going to keep deteriorating, and law enforcement is just going to be, check boxes and flowcharts. And that's no bueno. You know what I mean?
Well, see how we tackle it.
Yeah. I mean, we could do something as simple as like a job fair, hiring for this. Maybe it means getting a detective unit up and going. I don't know. But even that requires folks
it's
that are
much up and going
interested and genuinely good at teaching, right?
I'd love something like that. I'd love to hire more people. I mean, I'm frankly trying to get more people like that. So, but they are far and in between, far and few. But,
I mean, you found Wes, right? I think they're out there, right?
Yeah, there's another one I have an eye on as well. So
you might want to also question who's hiring for you. You know what I mean? Numbers might be going up, but what about the quality? Are they looking for? Do they have the ability to look for the right feature
I think
sets?
that comes back to the conversation we had before. That would be a bigger bite to take than food we have to consume. For lack of, I guess, better terminology there. There are systematic issues that require a lot of work. While we can make improvements, I think that's what we focus on, making those improvements where we can.
Let me ask so as to better understand. If there was a state announcement saying we are looking to hire those that are well versed in and focusing on investigatory work, and you brought those individuals in and you hired, let's say, only those that pass like a high bar of competency, right? That wouldn't solve the problem today, but it would set the groundwork for where you can be in 3 months, right? Because if you got two other Wes's, that guy not only knows how to communicate,
completely department changing even.
Exactly. You would not only get maybe 3 of him, because he's not only good with court stuff, he knows how to communicate. He doesn't have emotional breakdowns. It's facts over feelings, which is important for running any fucking organization. And now you've got those people, you give them something, and they start being the people that set the record straight and start ensuring that the rest of the command has minimum competency, right?
So you'll put a state announcement out there if we schedule this here.
Brother, I'm giving you an example. If this is what we can do, we can do it this way, right?
Absolutely, but I like it. That's something you're willing to do. If I coordinate that,
it's my job, right? You put it in place. You tell me, Nino, I'm ready. Well, let's put this thing out. We can do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm
gonna shoot for next this coming Tuesday.
Sure. I mean, you tell me when. Just send me an email.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing it then. This is when I want the state announcements.
If we can, if we get some announcements out, because I like that idea. I hope it's fruitful. See who shows up, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Might even fix the, you know, the retention issue too, maybe. You know what I mean? People come in, they have the, you know, they have their fun driving their vehicles around, you know what I mean? Eating up all your training hours and then, you know, shooting a couple people and then saying, you know what, I'm good. On to the next thing. I'll go back to
I don't
Overwatch.
think we're fixing that anytime soon.
I do one of the most boring jobs in the city. Most of my people write paperwork all day. Yet no one leaves. Except for Tilly. And the reason I use that as an example is that, yes, no, it can be fixed. But the way these people were picked is that I brought in those that were actually hungry. And there's hungry people in the city. But just because someone's got a funny voice or like whatever, you know, like if you have to hire the right people, quality, right? People that really want it. Those that don't really want it just want to come on duty and like fucking shoot around for a little bit until they get bored of that phase. That's just a waste of your time, right?
I truly don't think there's a 1-to-1 ratio there in any way, shape, or form, but I understand the sentiment. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's see how fruitful this next Howard Fair we do for a we'll have to figure out a verbiage for, but for the highly intelligent,
competent. Intelligent. I don't like that. And let's not use that word, because masking, unless we're saying all the people that are in PD are not intelligent. It's not an intelligence problem. It's a passion problem, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the exact verbiage I was going to use there, but yeah.
Junior Huntley, I'm going to use an example. That motherfucker has like dyslexia. He can barely read something before. And even he's been cooking. You know what I mean? It's, hey, do you want this? You need to do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, passion's a good word.
Anyways. And I agree, Turner, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You guys got fast cars. You get to shoot people all day. You get to take, you know, throw them in cuffs. I mean, that's a fucking, you have all the fucking bells and whistles. You know what I mean? And most of the city, they don't have supercars or guns. No, they got a fucking G6 truck or like a fucking hat for senior buns. They'd fucking suck dick to get these, get a job at PD.
I guess they're going to the wrong person then.
Well,
I know you tried turning that around.
What part?
I know you tried right there with that statement right there. Not a 1-to-1 for us. We still need 30, 40 cops on duty. We need a wide array of people. Right? We don't need 30 detectives.
I agree, but those people that are driving fast and shooting need to be fucking pulling their own weight. If you have the opportunity to come, you know, come into and get the sick car and shoot around, bitch, why are you not fucking writing the reports? Why are you not doing this bare minimum? Go and do that before you jump back in. Yeah.
Everyone needs to do the reports. They need the bare minimums. They all bare minimums.
Yep.
You know, you take care, okay?
Yep. You too.
You be good.
And let Espinosa know that it wasn't targeted at him. It's literally everybody's got to be learning this. I mean, that includes the attorneys. This is new shit for everybody. But people need to be open to the learning aspect. And, you know what I mean?
They have to be.
Yeah.
All
right. Oh my God. Bro, I almost popped a fucking blood vessel. No, I wouldn't do a 5th term for that. But yeah, that was absolutely insane.